Hello, everybody, and welcome back as we get ready for the last series of the night. I hope you guys have been enjoying your time. Andy and I certainly have been. It's been great back in the virtual booth with you. We got to get through one more series here, Andy.
Yeah, this one's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, you got both the Longhorns and the Battlecats. So desperate for a win. I mean, one's 2-2, one's 3-3. This one's going to be an interesting one, to say the least.
Going to be important to pick up some wins, especially this deep into the season as you start to talk about placings and who's going to end up where. But let's see how it's all going to take place. And starting, of course, here with Beeston, Green Goose, Heartless, as well as Delhi. These four are coming together here as the Battlecats to see if they can put on a show for us, Andy.
Definitely not short of some fantastic names, I'll tell you that much. Beeson is a returning player, obviously a senior here for the Battlecats. It's definitely one to remember when it comes across the entirety of the Vanguard year. It was quite electric with the Automaton. Though, then again, you pick up that bullet hose, it's kind of hard to miss with it sometimes. But even more so than that, it's been able to transition that over quite wonderfully here for Modern Warfare 2. Comes down to the rest of the team following suit. This team overall had a forfeit win versus IVC. Then their one win was against Westcliff University, which, again, is nothing to scoff at. They won that 3-win with a 2-3 loss versus LBSU. And then they also lost 1-3 versus TAMU. Kind of puts this stock for the Battlecats at an all-time low for me personally.
Right. Going to need to see some improvement without a doubt. But across the board, we'll take a look at our other roster here. Longhorn Gaming. These guys coming in, of course. Saucy, Crit, Nikki, and Velocity coming here as the four for Longhorn.
Not ranked, which is what makes this even more interesting, because Arizona, they are ranked number 23. And take that with a grain of salt. Longhorn, on the other side, they are also 3-3. They lost 0-3 to CSUN. They got a forfeit win versus LBSU. And their one win that you can absolutely put some stock into was against the Dust Devils out of Texas A&M International University. So I think that this team, as far as Longhorn is concerned, again, you have the returning player of Crit, is somebody you can really rely on, lean on, if you will, especially when it comes down to those respawns. In Hardpoint specifically, when Crit is let loose, he is an absolute beast on the map.
Yeah, he's one of the players we'll be talking about a lot for Longhorn Gaming. I mean, being around for now a couple years, as we were talking about. But we'll take a look at the records here. And the head-to-heads, well, overall, we said it, coming on through. Both teams certainly looking for some wins, more so the Battlecats here at 2-3. Hardpoint records, 5-3 right now. That's kind of been one of the leading charges for Longhorn Gaming. That's actually how they've been winning all of their series, has been winning through the hardpoints. S&D records, not exactly there for either squad, so who knows what we're going to get. And then Control, at least, has been solid. The one good game out here for the Battlecats.
3-1 for Control. We'll have to really keep a close eye on that when we do get to our map number 3. Double Osilo, Vito for Arizona. They also got rid of the Embassy Hardpoint, which leaves us with our best-of-5 map set. Ricardo Las Almas, map number 1 here between these two teams. Fortress Search and Destroy, and a guaranteed Greenberg Hotel for that Control map number 3. We do have to go to the distance. We get a Zarqua Hydroelectric, and then a Hotel Search and Destroy. A little vacation if we get a full map 5 set there, Austin. Go visit the Hydroelectric plant before we come back and say Greenberg.
I like that, man. I like that little detour, you know, before you check out for the night and say goodbye to the weekend. See what happens on Hydro if we get there. But we're jumping right into this one. These players aren't fooling around. We're kicking it right off here in Mercado. Hard point. I'm ready for it. Longhorn Gaming. They get some early time. But Crit's already off to a nice little start as he finds 2.
Favorite side of the map here, Longhorn. Still so much time that could be soaked up. Arizona are more than aware of this. Look at player number 1. Delhi's actually hitting the longest route possible, and I don't even think he threw a single shot over towards Saucy. So he gets through Banana, damn near unscathed, but then he gets looked at by player number 8 in Saucy. So Velocity doubles back, finds himself on a 3 spree. Spawns maintained for now.
Doing a good job. Still let anyone get through. Velocity 4 in a row for him. We'll get a read on 5, but how about that drop shot of the Heartless? We'll actually win a pretty critical gunfight to try to loosen up the defense just a tad bit. But we will still see Longhorn Gaming in the firm position of the rotation here at P2. But they aren't zoning from the front. They have top control. The kills are actually starting to come through now for the Battlecats as they get themselves in. Always doesn't throw the best Semtex, but he's good. He repositions. He's soaking up time.
Look, I'm with you, Heartless. I hate doors. I want them to be out of here. And what better way to get them out of here than just by throwing a Semtex? Just kidding. You're man out of adamantium, it would seem. 38 seconds left here inside P2, and I mean, if you're Longhorn, you're kind of sweating about this, right? I mean, you want to be able to break this cleanly, decisively. 2-for-1 trade comes down to Green Goose inside the hill, and going on it, going to be able to find one. Beeson on the other side, looking to pick things up. If you could maintain to keep this scrappy and maybe even find number 3, you're in a pretty good spot if you are Beeson. So now you chalk it. If you are Longhorn, you find 1 kill on rotation, you set yourself up inside a 10. A very successful P2, I will say that much for Arizona.
Oh, that was a massive 1v1. That was additional 20 seconds here for the Battlecats. And they are starting to get threatened pretty early for the remaining players that decide to rotate. The setup's in, but it's just 2 players in the point right now. Kills need to come through. Velocity trying to find angles. Has a Semtex to throw out there. He's going to hold strong. His teammates come around the back, and that will be a 4 down. Clean wipe comes through, and now space can be taken away.
Yeah, it's legitimately just that. Look, they found the 4 dead, and immediate space gets taken away inside of L. I think he's in a really crucial spot. It gets looked at. He's able to find at least 1. Now you're slowed up considerably, at least for this break attempt, and he's able to find Deli just trying to rush through the B cuts. Comes down to this 1v1, you would feel like essentially for the time, and well, Beeson again just gets the better of an enemy player. Velocity, last player alive. This is a big 25 seconds when you think about it. It's about a dead even game. Beeson laying prone inside the door will find the trade. And the 20-second scrap time will be secured again by Arizona. Rotation required for Longhorn.
Brother, if this is the Beastin we're getting in this best of 5, Longhorn Gaming, they better get ready. My goodness, 12-6 for him. That's 2 huge individual battles where he has put up about 46 seconds, maybe even 50 seconds of the 71 that we see on the scoreboard right now for the Battlecats. Again, set up here first for Longhorn. This time, can they hold? Velocity good for 1 in the back. Deli, though, finds a window to actually push through. Goes down to the drop shot. Doesn't finish off the kill. Goose is able to respond with 2, and Beaston now coming off that old play. Wants to get involved, and he will. He'll find kill 4, but will be shut down.
That's the Beaston you're going to get, man. 13-7, 47 seconds of OBJ time. Rally behind this. Right on the other side, looking to maybe deliver something a little bit less lackluster. Only 9-6. Velocity is the one that's leading the charge here for Longhorn at 13-8. P4 successfully broken. If you are Longhorn, you need this 20 seconds. You do not want Arizona to get set up too comfortably when it comes down to their differential for scores. So they'll chalk it. They know this rotation isn't exactly next door, trying to get themselves in control, but it's a 3-player flank around the back of Forklift.
Oh my goodness, off screen again. The scrap time is won 3 times in a row as Deli decides to actually throw a body at it and decides to give it a hit. And now the setup might be a little bit looser because of it, and the kills are actually pretty clean on transition here. Heartless has just got nowhere to go as the stuns come through, lock him up, and make him an easy kill. 101-77. Patio hardpoint, of course, opened up. Kills are still coming through. Power positions now in control here from Crit as he's up top with 4 in a row.
And with an AR as well, he's just going to be snaking this continuously, relentlessly. He knows that Heartless is on the back tin alley, and that's great communication. He also saw a player coming through the cuts. Yes, Aussie's 2 HP. Crit should be here for the trade. He's stunned up. Can't actually throw out the entire chow. 30 seconds still left over here. Unless you get Crit out from this positioning, you're never really going to be set up comfortably. He was also looking for that kill number 6. He had to throw away the spree, maybe to try to contest some time. I would argue otherwise, but loses that spree, loses the scrap time again. We are now 4 hills in a row for Arizona walk away with scrap time.
That's impressive, man. You'll certainly be happy about that right now if you're Arizona. I mean, it's literally the reason that they're ahead right now in the game. But back to Cantina we go. It's time for the top floor. And again, Longhorn Gaming have been good at the rotations. They've been always set up first. They haven't always held. See if that maybe changes as Velocity just kind of dabbles back and forth between mid and the back alley. Good for that first kill onto Goose. Might be able to chain it into a little bit more. Velocity does manage to get a couple more bullets into the second player, but Deli wants to come in for 3. He will be shut down. I think he will hold on to the hard point for now.
I don't hack the RP2. That's essentially what P6 does feel like. It's a fortress in here. Nades need to be on point, but we got trophy systems, baby. So a lot of those are going to be negated. A lot of this hit, you feel like it's actually going to come through the top catwalk side. And Saucy's not a part of this hit at all. He gets kind of played with in and around a P2, and Grey Goose gets the better of it. And now you're in a terrible spot when you do feel like it here for Arizona. Crit's still trying to battle for the scrap time. But again, it is just relentless striking for Arizona where they just want the scrap time. They're going to get it. And you said it so wonderfully, Vision. It's the scrap time that is going to keep Arizona alive and ahead in this game. Not to mention that they already have the rotation over towards P7.
Oh, that's a key kill, though. Yeah, had. Heartless kind of just gives himself a little bit of a free opening right through mid. Wants to try to find some kills and control the lane. Doesn't work out the way he wanted. Beaston now has to try to win this battle versus Saucy. He thinks about taking shots onto his teammate. No auto aim there, so he won't fire back. But he'll kind of gone neutral for a huge majority of this point. Now a 1v1 on the point. Deli throwing out shoulders. Mickey just laying down. But again, Deli just goes to his belly and gives Mickey a taste of his own medicine as they break in and they try to fight for that back 30.
Oh, you broke me. Broke me with that. Beeson finds another two, finally gets traded out. Oh, I'm going to be saying that one for a while. The more I cast Arizona Battlecats. Thank you for that ever so timeless moment. End of the first set, and it's about to be a 50-plus point lead for the Battlecats. Again, it's been scrap time continuously. These isolated 1v1s have been so good for them. And it really does feel like that it's just the awkward, scrappy timing that's being forced out by Beeson. 20 and 16 with about a minute of hardpoint time. I want to say about 40 seconds of that has been scrap time, if not the initial 10, because he's always in these awkward spots. 4 dead for Longhorn, and the lead will continue to grow.
Oh boy, getting out of hand here. It's Arizona. They are in firm control now. P1 time still going their way. Green Goose just looking from left to right, saying, who's going to chow me next? Velocity says, I will. And he will clean up 2 through mid. But Beaston throws himself right on the time and gonna now pull off. I like the play. Let's try to play for the rotation. Cut off all of the players here from Longhorn Gaming, trying to make their way into Cantina. And Beaston's at the front of it. That's the first. That's the second. Beaston almost gets the third, but his job is done.
If he had a drum mag, maybe about 20 HP, he probably takes that third challenge and wins it. This guy's piecing. 24 and 18. Longhorn need a response here. If you just feel like these players that are just being left behind or just have no answer immediately back, everybody is just dropping like flies. Deli spawns all the way out inside of lockers. He has a free look at Velocity, who tries going through the barbershop. The initial setup is good. Arizona past 200 points.
Past 200 points and climbing. Don't look to let up, but Mickey able to actually work for that second while already weak. Might be able to try to play his life, but Saucy now is forced to try to make a big play. He is low on HP, decides to take the chow. Deli will say no problem as trades go back and forth. Still very much anyone's hard point with 30 seconds left, but Crit trying to get in there, needs to get on the time, and he knows it.
Oh, it's actually great assistance. Make sure that the scrap time is at least secured, and you got Saucy proactively playing for the future as well. Heartless is up top. Trophy system all in the hands of Velocity. We've all been there. As long as Heartless stays alive, he's going to pull so much focus for these players to take a look at him. Even the window pop-up, not going to be good for Mickey. Heartless still alive.
Heartless doing it all. Heartless, that will be 3 on the rotation. He's done it himself. Looking for number 4. And Willie got a read. Has to try to find a couple members, potentially. Mickey shooting right over the top of the dumpster. And Heartless is still alive inside of Tin. Battlecats now building this lead even further, closer and closer to that 250-point mark, and the control is still theirs.
Tit is going to have to come through swiftly for Velocity. He doesn't have the luxury of waiting for his teammates because his teammates are going to get cut down on the cross. Even Beeson going 1-for-1 is huge. The break attempt comes in. Heartless is still alive. Last player alive on the hill. He finds kill number 6 and 7 in a row. Last player to maybe make a hit is going to be Mickey, and he needs to fly.
You gotta get through Heartless right now. You gotta shut down the spree. And that does not look possible. Heartless has just taken over the Tin Hill. This is now his. My goodness, no chance. No touch. How about that for the Battlecats? Wow. Map number 1, it's all theirs.
That is just absurd. I mean, it was like neck and neck, I want to say, for the first like 3 hills, and then you started to really find yourself in the narrative that is just like, dude, Battlecats, they don't care, man. They keep battling for the scrap time. I mean, it's their name. They're cats, but they're battling hard for the scrap time continuously, and they're getting it. I want to say like 80% of the hills, maybe barring maybe 1 or 2 hard points, through the 2 sets of hard points that we had for ourselves, Austin. It just felt like the Battlecats were always getting themselves that scrap time, and it's those 20 seconds, trading 20s for 15s continuously through a lot of these hard points and keeping things really, really scrappy throughout the majority of these hard points. You just saw that lead grow and grow and grow. And then once you saw them battle there on P6, win the scrap time somehow, some way, and then maintain presence over by P7, you just knew that it was going to be GG's from soon on after. You got players getting in a takeoff mode. It was Beeson earlier on. Heartless was soon to follow because that 8 spree was emphatic, to say the least.
Wow. I mean, talk about high risk, high reward, right? You lose those 1v1s when you're pushing for some of that scrap time, and, you know, it could really hurt you on the rotation if your teammates do not find the kills. But every single gunfight was just won through scrap time, and that is not something we see very often. But a map like Mercado, 7 hills in the rotation, if you're getting scrap time won in almost every single one, well, by the time we get to the second set, we're going to have a nice little cushion, and that's exactly what we saw. Beaston also has just a monster of a game. So many impactful kills, so many key 1v1s from him throughout this map.
And it's just like you look from top to bottom. I mean, like maybe barring Saucy at like 31 engagements, 10 and 21. I'm no mathematician scientist guy, but I'm pretty sure that Longhorn game through like the majority of that first set, if not the majority of this game, were outslaying. I mean, Crit and Velocity were having their ways. There was just no follow-up. And the follow-up for Arizona itself was always Double B Beeson, man. He was just always that last player in. He goes 30 and 25 with 3,500 damage. It's just absurd when you're thinking about it. That is the last raid boss that you have to deal with if you are Longhorn. You're like, okay, cool. We just went 3 for 2. And then Beeson comes in and finesses scrap time and goes on a 5 spree. It's just like, all right, well, chalk it up, rotate over. Oh, whoop. You already got 2 players that are over here. It's just how fundamentally sound Arizona were able to showcase all of that while also playing to that high risk and the potential for reward. This time it was all reward with Beeson hitting all the scrap time in the world, letting their ARs and Delhi hit the rotation as early as they could possibly find for themselves. It's just crazy that through the, I want to say the latter half of the first set of hard points, that's when you saw Arizona all turn up collectively as a team and just start to completely outslay Longhorn, because Longhorn were really setting themselves up wonderfully in between that P2 to P3 rotation. I thought that was going to be the domino effect the rest of the map one.
Without a doubt. And look at the time shared. That's always one of my favorite things to see from a team, which means that, you know, everybody's getting involved. Like, it's not just one person that's just meant to sit on time. I'll do the OBJ work. Like, everybody's picking their moments, and to be a successful team, especially the CCL, like, this is what you need against the top teams, and they are there. Objective kills also very much there for just about every single member. So we take a look at the series layout again, and, well, map number 1. 251-58. Battlecats, very happy about that to kick the series off. But now we transition over to Fortress S&D, where both teams aren't very good in this game mode. So it's kind of difficult to expect anything coming in handy.
That's the nicest way of saying that both teams have a losing record in Search and Destroy. Yep. That's
yes, that's the other way you can swing it.
It's just like, it's unfortunate because it's just like you wanna say off of that map number 1, you're like, wow, you guys got the gunny, so maybe you have the brainy to maybe try to play out a lot of Search and Destroy, but without the majority, I want to say, of VOD time of like watching a lot of these teams and a lot of their suggested map mode combinations and preferred maps for each mode, it's just like, it's hard to gauge, right? Because you're 1 and 3 if you're Arizona, you're 1 and 4 if you're Longhorn, and you're playing Fortress.
Yeah.
Where it really feels like that there's just a single bomb site to tussle over. You could throw the wrench in the system. We're seeing some teams all the way up to the CDL Epsilon find themselves a lot more comfort as far as hitting across that P1 lane and then getting themselves inside that BS&D site. Because if you can get a post plant on B, well, it seems like it's unarguably the hardest site to retake, but you got to get there first. And it feels like it's all going to be First Blood. And if it's not going to be First Bloods, then it's going to be Arc Control. If you don't have any sort of expectations as far as Fortress is concerned, those are literally just it. It's just First Bloods plus Arc Control. If you can get those 2 things going for yourself, then you're going to be feeling pretty darn skippy when it comes down to your round count.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Subs make the difference in Fortress Search and Destroy. You know where the ARs are going to be, and most of the time you also know where the snipers are going to be if one ever were to come out. But where the SMGs go, how they use their dead silence, how they can try to disrupt the setups on the map, that's what we're going to hone in on. Let's get into it. Attacking first here will be the Battlecats, as they will be able to go for a nice little 1-for-1 trade. But no trophy system down. Have to be a little bit careful about the nades. As Beaston starts to feel the pressure, but good team shots come through onto Mickey.
That's really good help, actually, from Mickey, or onto Mickey, excuse me. Velocity is the player that might have to be the difference maker. I mean, you can see Crit on the minimap. He is nowhere part of this play. It's going to have to be taken on 2 different fronts. If Velocity is getting encroached on, he should get taken down here. It just comes down to how much more presence Crit can pull away from these double arches.
Velocity has a clear look at this 1v1. He's been dancing with them for a while. Just doesn't get a clean look, and now he's going to lose Crit here in the process. Likely going to be the round. Shots come through in the back. Doesn't even hit a bullet. Arizona, they're still warm.
And keep in mind, Longhorn found First Blood. But the way First Blood came through is that the SMG for Longhorn kind of threw himself in that 1-for-1 position, right? You got no trophies, you got no dead silence, so you need to kind of get a little mixy when it comes down to round 1 on Fortress. So you put yourself in that close corner just outside the side door, the gallows. He goes 1 for 1, and there was no AR presence to be able to help things out. By the time the AR pushed through the open archway, you already had both Beeson and Green Goose just open line firing. 2 attacks just looking towards that player's direction. 3 in the round for Goose.
Good start for Green Goose. A lot of members right now on the A side as well for Arizona. They don't want to give this over for free, but talks about toying with that B push. This is how you would do it if you can get a read on how many members are inside. Got starting the exchange. Mickey actually trying to take this battle. I respect it. Not an easy one. Just trying to pepper up the stage with the Vaznev, but now Deli's up top. You're going to have to worry about this play as he can disrupt everything, and you've already lost one.
I think Saucy might have hurt him. Deli doesn't have that silence. Doesn't finish the kill either, but he gets out with his life, and preserving his life is everything because it confirms information these 2 players might be located at.
That's going to be one. In the second, might just fall. Velocity does find the tags, does get the shots in, but he's got nowhere to go. Clean round again here from Arizona.
Just dissection coming through in the rounds, just finding where some of these players are located at, overwhelming them with presence of the Battlecat members. Again, although you had a good look at Deli up top, it just needs to be said, it's just how adept these Battlecats players are at just preserving their life. In Search and Destroy, it is everything. It's frustrating when you see a lot of players just try to stay in a gunfight for too long, but preserving your life, especially in a game like Search and Destroy, is everything. Saucy, Velocity, the only 2 players to find kills, and they're just sitting at 1 apiece. Green Goose still continuing on with their antics on 4 in a row.
Oh, good nades. Very early on. Might just delay it a tad bit. Velocity also going to back up at Saucy. Hello. What is going on here? He is already inside of Art. And he's been able to find one. He's not done. Oh, I love this wrap around the back. Finish him. There you go. Beaston will drop. Saucy has basically won the round here, putting his team into a 2v4.
That silence reset. All right, let's see it around the back. Oh, my God. Give me the ace. Give me the ace! No! Oh, that would have been sick. Dude, Deli got ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
I've seen Vaznevs just do that, but it is just always just so impressive. Like, what? It wasn't even Deli. I don't even know who that was. Was it Heartless back over by A2? I don't care. He exploded.
Oh, yeah, see.
What a cool play call. Again, you know, the SMGs, like you were talking about, Austin, are everything. And it's our control. Dead silence, pushing through munitions, getting behind enemy lines, nobody watching the flank, Saucy exploiting it. Stops the bleeding here for Longhorn.
Sure does. Crucial round, and Saucy. Oh, wait, does he fly out like this? Hold on, bring us back. Saucy's hitting this. Saucy's in here. Oh, he doesn't get him this time. Maybe a sound cue comes through as Deli basically saves the play. Saucy was ready to break it open. Deli will make sure that doesn't happen. 4v3 here for the Battlecats.
Velocity. Oh, no, this is tough. He finds the first. Even Snakes on the box. Snaps to find the second on a Green Goose. There is no safe passage on the Gallows site, but it comes down to Deli, who finds 2. Forces out the 1v1.
No way. Not like this. The Battlecats can't keep getting away with it, right? Deli gonna have the dead silence popped. He's still got a stun and a nade. And he's gonna wrap all the way around here. The timing could be everything. Oh, he takes shots. And oh, he's gonna run right out, and it's gonna be red. How about it? 1 versus 3. That is just ridiculous, Andy.
You the break bad meme. You can't keep getting away with this. I mean, it was just wonderfully executed from Deli, obviously, right? You know, there's a lot to be said. Oh, just find the trade forehead. But Deli just did everything right in that moment of time. And it's interesting, too, because when we started off with Saucy, you're right to call him out because, I mean, he makes that play happen. He just doesn't read the player immediately on his left. He wanted to find Beeson for first blood. He found good damage, but the last bullet wasn't there to find that first blood. And even going 1 for 1 would have been fine, but routes, the shots, absolutely pristine. Deli on 4 in a row. Going to be playing in this position, maybe seeing if anybody pushes all the way through. Not going to be the case. Longhorn giving a lot of respect to Arizona's offense.
Everyone trying to feel each other out now after a couple of mixy rounds take place. A couple of gaps are found. This time everyone's holding out. Mickey will find shots on the Beaston and makes it a second. Deli, you can see it. just watching over him like he wants to make another one of those plays, except this time everyone's watching correctly. No push through should come in. Heartless, he could very well find Mickey.
He sees the head. You can wallbang that! And Mickey knows it. Drop shot. Gotta take down Heartless. All right, Deli. You found the ace. 1v3. Don't have dead silence. He has to recover the Bob. Velocity, you saw there on the X-ray. He was laying prone looking at it. Crit is also playing the head glitch on the horse statue. And, yeah, this is, it's shocked.
Yeah, you can just wait it out, too. Play the streaks. I think that's
the right call.
Yeah, for sure. It's just not too many looks that you're going to get from this position, and not a very winnable round, so no point giving up your streak, looking for kills. Everyone will just simply wait it out. We'll get a nice little angle of how Deli's laying down here. Still absolutely locked in case someone were to come and challenge him. I'm sure he would have won that gunfight. But 3-2, Longhorn Gaming, able to bring it back. Still in this one, just down by 1.
I'm holding my breath and sniffing pixels on my monitor if I'm Deli in that position. I'm waiting for that isolated chow, but... And Longhorn, again, they gave a lot of respect to Arizona's offense, and you saw it pay dividends. You have 3 ARs that are watching the open and closed arches and just waiting for the challenges to come all the way through. You're safe from trophy, or you're safe from nades via trophies. Wonderful call.
Here for it. This time it's red. Saucy doesn't want to fly out of the doors. Instead, he wants to stop the push from coming through. That is a huge first kill. Just getting Beastin out of the equation early. You're going to love that. Good angle here from Velocity to look over the top. Maybe help get this bomb down, and I think it's going to go down uncontested. No one's going to make a move in. Hopefully some stuns and nades available on this retake. Not going to be an easy one coming on through here for the Battlecats.
I feel like the majority of this is going to have to come through the front. There's nobody that's going to be able to get on the flank, and before you do, you're going to have maybe like 12 seconds remaining. Crit's just playing over by the double stairs. Yeah, here comes the hit all through the front.
25 seconds. No one's gone down just yet. Velocity finds kill 1. And that one, I feel like, might just seal it. Have to read a play from the back. Saucy hits it. Deli also gets shut down. That spree will come to an end in Longhorn Gaming, starting to put it together. Back-to-back rounds come through. They tie it up at 3.
It just feels like that if you're Deli in that position, you're calling out, I'm on 4, I'm on 4, I'm working towards a streak. And it just takes so much time to try to find, like, the perfect challenge. Like, you kind of slip up on fundamentals as far as a retake is concerned, or... far as just the response is concerned after being first-blooded, and I really do feel like that was not the sole reason, but certainly was a catalyst for Arizona's previous 2 rounds, but lots to see. All even Stevens going in around number 7. Offensive attempt coming through from Arizona, and Deli off that spree. He's back to 5.
Yeah, he's unlocked now, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to worry about the spree anymore. Now I get to maybe fly out, find some more kills, do some crazy things, and he's going to take that chow. It's always a tough one, especially with the sub. You can clearly see why. Velocity has no problem putting him down. Mickey also puts down a second. Beastin and Heartless have to clutch up a 2v4. They do a good job of finding the first one. But they got to worry about Saucy here on the flank. This has got to be sniffed out.
With that silence, he's making a lot of noise. Heartless backed up windows will pick him up seemingly for free. 2v2. Bomb needs to get planted here. Now, the biggest question, do you have any util? Do you have a trophy system? Keep yourself safe. And they just hold the irons. Beastin's 1 HP. He had some assistance to boot. Now comes down to Velocity. Has that silence. The chow comes in. He finds Beastin. Needs to stay alive.
A 2v4 down to a 1 versus 1. Velocity looking for kill number 3. Could he do it? Bomb is planted. Gonna back. Oh, Beastin's gonna stay on site. He's got a read maybe on this challenge. Challenge comes through and Velocity will take it. Oh, almost a 2v4. It's not to be. Velocity. He's got other plans here, as you'll find yet another huge round for Longhorn.
Yeah, bold call, especially for Beastin in a post-plant 1v1, right? I mean, you might have to always consider that the player that you're facing in a 1v1 is going to have dead silence. That is absolutely the case. But even more so than that, I mean, the bomb is planted for back steps that it, like, I don't know, go back, make sure the flank is secured. You have a great stair head glitch back there. So long as you don't pull a TJ Halley and the enemy doesn't jump over top of you, you somehow miss it, you should be fine. But Longhorn Gaming, they answer back 3 rounds in a row. Have themselves a lead.
It's right over the top, not going to hit anything. And how about that chow, man? Not an easy one. Taking that from down low. Green Goose finds it, and that means it's the go button here for Deli. Can he find the player low? No, Mickey works for both, and he stays alive? Are you kidding me? Looking like a breakdown in this round here for the Battlecats. Can't find trades. All goes wrong at the worst possible time, and now Heartless gonna have to clutch up a 1v3 of his own.
He's a trophy system player. Look, have fun. Gonna have to rip velocity off this back head glitch, and even if he does, Saucy's playing in the corner. I just don't know how you're gonna be able to do this. You're exhausting so much time. Jump Chow finds the first, but in that entire stage, you can wallbang that sucker. So trade will come through. Longhorn, 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
Up on map point. I want to say that they're reading a lot of what the Battlecats are throwing at them, but the Battlecats aren't even like really throwing anything at them. They're just kind of literally throwing themselves at Longhorn, and Longhorn are just playing pretty standardized. I mean, they're just playing in these very notable positions on the stairs. They're just catching Battlecats with their pants down. Or I guess their fur down. I don't know. Cats don't wear pants. My cat doesn't wear pants. Oh, that's for sure.
There's got to be some cats out there that wear pants, right? Surely.
Yeah,
their owners
sure,
dress
like...
them up. Put on their winter boots, you know.
That's
go
so
outside.
bad for those cats. Jeez.
Well, 4 rounds in a row. Longhorn Gaming have taken over. Saucy. Oh, I've seen this before. All right, he'll find it. Gets a little bit close. And yeah, that looks like it's going to be it. They fly at him. Deli would have to read every single push and hold on. He's kind of doing something. Oh my goodness. If the 4th player isn't there, maybe something spectacular happens, but it's not going to happen. Longhorn Gaming, they put it together, piece it together, and they steal away this map number 2.
Make it even better. Hold on. Does he have the kitchen knife? His name is Deli. You get it? Like, I feel like that's just... Oh, man. That would have been great.
That was a good one.
You like that?
That's a good one.
I just I feel like the Battlecats, like, congratulations, Longhorn, right? You won those rounds in a row. It was impressive. But I feel like if you're the Battlecats, like, you wasted so much time trying to get Deli those streaks after he got an ace in round number 4 that it just felt like you just allowed Longhorn to find tempo. And when they started to find that tempo of the majority of those rounds that they won, continuing on since that round 4, was all off of AAAR. They were just chilling, posted up, watching each other's crosses, team shotting when it was necessary. And like I was saying, it's not like the Battlecats were doing anything too crazy. If there was one player that was going a little bit more, I guess, AWOL, would have been a few players maybe from Longhorn just staying mixy in and around munitions. It was a weird turn of events, I will say that much, because it felt like that Battlecat should have absolutely had this earlier on, but Longhorn, they turned it around.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you were just seeing, I think, some of the early play calls, and everything just looked like really coordinated and polished. Like, the Battlecats were picking a lot of moments really well, and then even clutching up in some of these situations, right? Like, this is Deli's 1v3. You're thinking that's where everything could potentially swing right off of this kill. Puts them ahead 3-1. That's where we started to see the comeback happen. Longhorn Gaming put together the rounds. They start clutching up. Even when it gets dicey in some of these almost kind of giving up 2v4s, they're still able to get it done, and that's thanks to velocity.
And you see a lot of these rounds as well. I mean, like, you are giving so many isolated 1v1s when you have the ability to take chows in numbers, the 2v1, to double chow. And it just felt like that there was a moment of time that Battlecats were just like, yeah, we're smoking them, right? Like, we just won 250, 158 on Mercado Hardpoint. Like, come on, take the chow, kid. Like, and then they just throw 1v1s and lose them. Like, I just don't understand why. Not to mention how there was a lot of blind faith in the durability of the Gallows stage. I felt like there was a lot of times that the Battlecats were just playing on the backside of the stage, expecting them to win the gunfights, and they lost, like, they died via wallbangs, like, a dozen times. 7-7 for Deli. He got that ace, but that's all really you can sing the praises when it comes down to the Battlecats, because Longhorn absolutely turned up to a notch that was just undeniable. Saucy was making plays, top rails, in and around munitions, offense, defensive like. Velocities 1v1 there. You saw versus Beeson and a few other players, 9 and 5. And Mickey goes double positive, 8 and 4. Was also part of that nuisance tandem when Saucy was pulling out that second SMG, the Mickey's Vaznev, if you will, to play around munitions.
Yeah, big shout out to Mickey that map. I mean, being the objective player as well and just pulling off some of the plays that he did, he was certainly finding a groove, and we started to see that as we got about halfway through that. The back half was just about all theirs. That was a crazy turn of events. I mean, like you said, it just felt like it was such a turn. A team that just had full control, making great proactive plays, finding some of the gaps, just completely shut down. First Blood start coming through, and Velocity starts winning a couple of just massive opening engagements. Really set the tone. And now we got ourselves a tied series. This one a little bit more interesting than the last couple we've had on the night. No coming into the map 3 saying, all right, time to reverse sweep. You got to have it. Don't got to worry about that narrative. Someone's going to grab this swing mode going into the map 3. But for now, we'll send things to a short break. Get all the players in lobby. Don't go too far. Control coming up after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We got ourselves a series for the last one of the night. I hope you guys are tuned in and enjoying. You got your popcorn, you got your drinks. You're going to need it. We are locked in here between these two squads coming into a control, Andy. It's been a fun one so far. A little bit of back and forth throughout both of these maps to kind of kick off the series.
Yeah, I mean, map number 1, as competitive as it was, at least through the first few hard points, Beeson found himself into a different level, and Heartless was soon there to follow on an emphatic 8 spree to close it out 250 to 158. The Fortress Search and Destroy, we traded off a few rounds. I mean, we were sitting there saying, it was like, oh, Longhorn finally stopped the bleeding off of what was a very good start for the Battlecats, and then they did not relent. I mean, Arizona Battlecats just maybe lost some steam. I'm not too sure. Either way, we go into a control where, for Longhorn, you're 1-4. But if history is doomed to repeat itself, they're also 1-4 for Search and Destroy, so surely this should be their maps, right?
I think that's how it might work.
Oh, man.
That's how it feels like it should work, right? Based off of...
Writer.
You're right, that's me. I haven't actually completed the script yet. I'm still working on it here for the season, Andy, all right?
Let's
Rush
go.
me. It's coming. Let's get into it, baby. I'm hyped for it. Map number 3, huge swing map for both of these squads, and, well, both teams rather, have players that have been pretty electric. Saucy, one of them, in from behind, will find the first, almost able to transfer to the second, doesn't finish it off, and time will continue to go the way of Arizona here as they might lock in the first tick.
You remember, had that ace in round number 4, Search and Destroy for the inevitable L. First tick has been confirmed. He's just playing in annoying corners again. It's the Mercado hardpoint all over again, and you can't get behind check-in, so that A zone is all but chalked. I mean, if you're Longhorn, you're trying to find a couple of exits, and kills you're able to find surely, but you are not mitigating this life deficit. It's still leading by 3 for the offense.
2 minutes to work with. Lots of time for the Battlecats to find one good wipe surely. Let's see how good the defense will be in the back as well as inside a bedroom. Crit's under a lot of pressure, a little bit through mid, and one all the way in the back of their spawn. Beastin is actually just cleaned up too. Crit's still waiting for the regen. Will now take shots. He's going to shoot at 3 different players, able to at least finish one. But this B zone is open to go for the touch. However, still players you have to worry about on the other side of the map.
So worried to touch it. I mean, you got Heartless that is still slow to maybe push across the catwalk. Easton spawns all the way over inside a kitchen, and you've not single-handedly, but you've allowed Longhorn to work their way back all the way from those spawn outs and to recontest the B-zone before any presence was even shown. So 22 plays up against 17. You have ample time on the clock here. Easton's 6-3, so looking for a couple kills. Mickey's looking to make a play.
Mickey with Deddy. Scary combo. Gonna start busting open doors, make some noise. The Battlecats panicking, but now Mickey's the one panicking. Has to backtrack all the way, or maybe just patiently wait for the chow. Easy read, says thank you very much. Second one, about to chow. Mickey won't finish off this one, but you're still drawing out so many resources to clear the players in the bedroom. They finally do that, but now we're at 50 seconds. We'll see if they can finally make a play work out as Saucy shuts down a big one in the back.
That's awkward. Saucy caught mid-tack sprint, Deli caught mid-knife. 40 seconds remaining. Lives might not really matter here, but it's hotel control, baby. It takes one good push. Beeson has check-in control. Crit's gonna get the better of him, though. That's a tough gunfight to take, and kills are still coming through. Can't touch the B-zone quite yet.
Saucy gonna drop. Heartless gets 2. Battlecats are on. Just need to try to stop this clock. 9 lives to work with here for Longhorn Gaming, but clock is their friend. Keep them off the side. Round is yours. Easier said than done. Trophy system's coming through. I feel like the surge on this push is about to come out, but Mickey has just shut it down. 2 kills come through. That's going to really stop the remaining players. Still a chance to try to get in there and touch, but you're going to have to just absolutely brute force your way in, and I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe a second to touch, but Crit clears them all off.
What was, somewhere near about like a 5 life lead off of the opening A-zone capture ends in just a 1 life lead with 3 segments worth of capture. Be marking that down and keeping track of it throughout the entirety of this control, just in case it goes down to a round 5 defense. But even more so than that, I mean, I would say great stabilization coming through from Longhorn. Again, just being able to fully read that. You saw 2 players inside a spa. It was a real good look off of Arizona being able to get that A-zone capture in the first place, but those two players that were left over inside of Spa just could not produce more kills and buy enough time for both Heartless and Beastin to trek back across the map. So 3 ticks are all that Longhorn will allow to come all the way through. In towards their offense they go. It's going to be an A-zone execute. Deli's the sole defender so far.
Sole defender, and Deli is dealt with. Only able to find one. Reinforcements might come through. Doors are being open. Trying to bait out some shots, bait up some positions, get a read on it as Beastin hits the flank. That's going to be a nice double for him. That's going to put a stop to this A push, but now Deli going to have to run right over to B. See if he can shut it down.
He in running. He absolutely is. He gets gunned up from bottom bedroom, jumps over the railing. Agile, like a fox. But won't be able to find the kill there. The Semtex actually comes through from Heartless that keeps this push from Longhorn honest, and I'm not too sure about that dive across there if you are Velocity. If you can stop the clock, great, but you have negative map control so far. You're inside a bedroom, but look at the mid-map presence for Arizona.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I mean, this is a forced play by B that you're going to have to make work. Velocity will get across, and maybe there is a chance to make this play work, actually. No kills come through mid. So now you're going to have to retake from your side of the map. There's only 2 players here to do it. Kills are still there. It's basically a 2v4. Saucy needs to get to the back, and he does. He'll find one. Mid-map control still there for the Battlecats, but at least you got presence on B.
Clock being stalled. Got player number 6 of Velocity, who is just trying to make sure that bedroom stays in their possession. Beason's up here. Velocity reads it, loses the gunfight. Now it's just Mickey on the zone itself. Heartless will take him out. 2 ticks are what you're going to be able to find. You spawn parallel over towards A. 26 seconds remaining. You need the 60 seconds if you're Longhorn.
Definitely do. You're also
they didn't get the second segment.
No, they didn't. They didn't get the second tick. It was almost there, a sliver. But A should go over unless Heartless can get in from behind. That's one. No way does he run through crit like that. He does get his own trade inevitably, but my goodness, he just blows it open.
Oh, that 5th player, man, always comes into consideration. That dang trophy system. Second tick being depleted over at A. Desperation push now coming over towards B. Green Goose. He's coming through the lobby side. He's going to be able to at least find one, but trades are going to be good. Longhorn still on B.
Oh my goodness, they just keep hitting the catwalk over and over again, but Beastin doesn't have an angle to re-peek. That second tick now is secured. B might still go over here. Longhorn Gaming trying to do everything they possibly can to stay alive on B. That will come to a close, and now with 4 lives, you're just hoping to get this A point. Pressure here onto Crit. He will be able to get assistance from Velocity, and I think with that kill, that will be good for the final segment. But my goodness, it's a little bit dicey. Gets certainly very close.
3 versus 13. It's going to be tough. You just play the trade game if you are Arizona. You let this end via kills. It's going to be the case. Well, Beason's just going to press the issue. 7 spree for Beason. Cruise missile earned yesterday, and now you just wait for where the last player's at. Velocity's going to get the better of Beason, who just flies at him like the battle cat that he is. But, hey, man, 5 segments for Longhorn. Yeah, they lost by a steep deficit as far as lives are concerned, but those 5 segments could be the, I guess, the dividends when it comes down to that round 5 defense, potentially.
Could be. Yeah, it's another one of those rounds, right, where it's like, it feels like it's so convincing from the Battlecats, yet still 5 ticks managed to come through. I mean, the kill said it all. It was a massive differential for as far as the kills were concerned, but the ticks still came in. That's what's most important really. But Longhorn Gaming need to put up a little bit of a better defense. You would think maybe over towards A initially. They might have more numbers. But it is just going to be Saucy trying to work through Connector all by himself, and he will win the battle.
Tough gunfight for Heartless. You don't get that first bullet, and the second's not a headshot. You're probably going to lose to that Vaznev. Those up close. People say you got shotgun, but still got presence over at A. It seems that Deli, he should be able to get this A zone first segment captured. And he's also snaking, but he gets shot from the opposite side. Saucy opens up with a 3 spree. And you have map presence galore. Great opening rip here for Longhorn.
I love that little route. It is really just Saucy. That's kind of all by himself at A. And wow, Battlecats. I mean, Deli's like, hold on, guys. I don't think we should push to B here. Or if we are, I'm going to wait a second. And while this happens, Saucy has now got a part of this play as well here on B. He's on 4, trying to build up to some streaks and match the cruise missile that was earned there from Beeston. They will do a good job of at least getting all the members off of B, but now right back over to A. Second tick just about locked in.
Crit needed to show a little bit more patience. I mean, you can see the velocity wants to commit towards the kitchen flank, but you've allowed so many numbers for Arizona to get set up around this A zone. Last 1v1. Velocity finds it, also snaps onto the second over by Ruggs. Can't take down Beeson. He has been electric in the respawns, 22 in 13. Saucy, though, trying to make an argument for it. Green Goose is able to take him down in return. 60 seconds added on towards the board. And what feels like the first time all control Longhorn have a life lead.
Have a life lead, yeah, it really does, actually. Mickey adding towards that life lead as well. Kill number 3 will come through. Well played, Semtex, and now coming out of spawn here to the Battlecats. As you're going to try to win a battle off screen for some of that bedroom control. Saucy is good for another. Mickey on 4. Also trying to keep the spree going, but kills are starting to come through. Map control starting to be won, at least through mid. The Battlecats might have a chance to get through to the back, and with that kill there from Beeston, now you can ignite the play and start to set up the pinch.
Gotta be chandelier push, you'd think, for Beeson. He's got the hot hand here. I think he has a lot to do. Not a whole lot of bullets to do it. Finds the first on the Green Goose. He knows that there's another player that's in here. Semtex will at least clear the entry. Doesn't find the damage, but hey, still able to find yourself that second. Beeson's flank is here, by the way, and he felt the necessity to try to push all the way inside a check-in. Does not work out. You've shaved so much time off of this clock. Not to mention double the amount of lives that Longhorn have over Arizona.
It took a turn pretty quick. Exiting off of A was not really an option, it felt like, for the Battlecats. At least not doing it cleanly. Beeston trying to catch Velocity off guard. He's not going to fall for that. Now a lot of individual gunfights coming through in the back end of this round. Looking good right now for the defenders. Longhorn Gaming just need to hold on for 15 more seconds or find the remaining eliminations with only 3 lives. Probably only a matter of time.
Well, it's getting a little mixy in map. People ego challenge. I don't blame you. 15v3. You really want to try to maintain as many lives as possible, and that's going to be the case at all. Plus 12 as far as life deficit is concerned. A total of 6 segments of what the Battlecats are going to be able to accrue across their offensive round. So if you want that round 5 defense, if you are the Battlecats, you have to go for a full hold here on defense. But Longhorn have themselves a really good opportunity. Albeit with a life deficit from that opening break-off in their previous offense, they still were able to get 5 segments of just relentlessly striking whatever zone they spawn parallel to. It just comes down to this opening break-off for me, Austin. Can they win mid-map early on?
Well, Saucy would be the one to do it, especially out of that last round. He was huge. Mickey, for some angles, left to right, will be able to work for 1. Crit stays alive, and A will slowly start to go over. Saucy's already got some great control through the back. It's a read onto Heartless, and he's now going to really force all the defenders to basically post up and maybe push forward to the bedroom. I'm surprised no one has done it so far here. Battlecats might be deciding to come over to A. No, just going to do it just a tad bit late. Going to take their time. Maybe worried about the fast track push coming right out of A here from Longhorn.
Yeah, Mickey, he's already inside a bedroom. He's making sure that this rotation over towards B is going to be a little easier. Slow segment progression coming all the way through. Still trying to fish out some kills. And Mickey finds another one on a deli. He was down low. Now looking for luggage. Clearing away all of LA. Saucy trying to commit towards the flank around the back. Unsuccessful. But Crit's now up top. He rips one player off the Godheady. This could be the opening because now Velocity's on the flank.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about. They don't have any numbers inside of bedroom besides just the one that they sent and the one they'll follow up after. Looks like they're still okay to hold as Telly pops 3 and Beeston gets 4. So I guess all things considered, it still works out, but there was certainly a chance for Longhorn Gaming to win some longer range battles and actually get a touch on the point. And now Control starting to go the way of the Battlecats. Beeston going rogue 3 in a row. And he's in a great spot to find some more.
Maybe find a couple of exits out the side door, but that silence starting to dissipate ever so slightly, and he's not going to be a part of this play, but he can commit towards the flank, you would think. But with that dead silence running out, player number 6, Velocity, he turns around. Final blow will be dealt with Crit in his TAC 56. Heartless's positioning needs to be maintained. Deli also pushes underneath him, climbs up top. Velocity has a lot to do. He has some assistance with Crit in the SMG, but Heartless strikes along with Beeson, answers back with 2. And these straight trades will continue to be good, especially for Arizona if they want to stay alive. Mickey! What the heck was that, bro? He just comes flying out like a wombat and finds that kill.
Yeah, that was some Shatsy movement if I've ever seen it. My goodness, crazy stuff from him. Mickey trying to ignite a play for Longhorn, but Deli right back off of spawn. plus his presence right back in the bedroom. Minute now left on the clock, still 3 ticks needed. Shots coming over the top here from Crit, trying to find the player on the point, and he will actually find the player. And now he gets to push up a little bit. Players on the point, they're actually going to go for the stack. It's a 3-man stack here. Heartless is going to have an answer somewhere through mid. He's going to be able to find Crit. Shots need to come through again. He will be shut down, but the rest of the Arizona players are good from the front. They'll clear off the point, and they will deny that second tick for now.
You already know it's going to be a round 5 defense. You just don't want it to end here. You want to find as many kills as possible. Heartless is also playing over here. Mickey heard him. It feels like there had to have been some side of Q because Heartless just got eviscerated. Deli still trying to be as flexible as possible along with Beeson, who's up top bedroom, who's smoke saucy. Beeson left at 47 HP, can't win that gunfight. Mickey now is all the way on the flank, running out of time in this round to close it out here on the offense.
Seconds to go. Play in the back needs to be successful and is shut down. Low on time. Have to make a move if you want to try to close it out here in round 4. Rounds we'll see around 5 without a doubt. Saucy has a chance maybe to move through. Velocity's still working for this 1v1 in the back here, and they will stop the clock, but Beaston, you got to imagine he can stop it. He will find the first. Player comes up to deal with him and actually gets a read on it. A little bit of peekaboo, but hold on. The play is still alive. Longhorn Gaming, they're somehow still very much alive and in this. Velocity and Crit, winning 1v1s. Play from the front is completely nullified. Beaston needs to get here, and can you believe it? The final seconds, the final attempt. Longhorn Gaming get it done.
Greenberg Hotel control, everybody. It takes one good push and one good fumble, it would seem. Battlecats really had that defense put to rest. But man, you find those 2 kills, you clear top bedroom, albeit with trades, you get that push up towards D1, D2, and you just let everybody from Arizona absolutely have it if you're a Longhorn. They were piecing. The teamwork in those final few moments are just absolutely at an all-time high. I mean, again, it needs to be said, through 2 different offenses for Longhorn, they get put down to no respawns remaining. The first time they get 5 segments, which again felt like highway robbery because they lost that round by 10 lives.
Yeah.
And then the second one comes through, yeah, albeit in a 3v3, but in that moment, I want to say it was like somewhere near like 7 plays up against 3, and they just isolate all the players. It felt like a round out of the Fortress S&D. They just find these players lacking. They find the raid boss that was Beaston, who drops like 36 kills, and they just show presence on the zone. The stack comes through. You have no answer at that point if you're Arizona. Just frustrating, I'm sure, for the Battlecats camp. They could not force out that round 5. They knew they were going to have offense for sure. But in these winning moments, you just cannot allow Longhorn to get away with so much track on Greenberg Hotel control.
Wow. Just so many insane highlights here as we look through the package. A lot of key moments, man. This was that round 2 where Longhorn Gaming almost looked good. Down by a just drastic amount of lives, but yeah, it's tough. You said it, Andy, right? It gets Beaston's position up top where he is going to have to get it done, and he's able to get one, but they finally fish him out, and once you deal with the players from the back, well, you start to work for some key angles there from the front. Not easy to play retake when no one's pressuring through mid and nobody could get there through mid. That was also Mickey's nasty little double to kind of set everything up here in the round 2.
34 and 22 here, and like even Beason's like former positioning. If you're unfamiliar with the way that control spawns work, I mean, the reason why we really put a lot of stock into making sure that a defensive team maintains bedroom control is because it still keeps those parallel spawns defensively back spa in play. You lose that player bedroom, you lose any sort of presence of a defensive player over by B, you're spawning out in Narnia, you're spawning all the way out over by Jules, and you're not going to get there in time to help out your teammates. That you're hoping for some heroic moments, and hey, a Herculean effort, I will say that much, from Beeson. 35 and 23, 10 non-traded kills out of the 35 kills that he was able to find for himself. That is a lot of engagements, 58 in total. On the opposite side, it was Mickey, who was continuing on with his devious antics through the Fortress S&D, keeping the hot hand rolling here at 31 and 24. And I truly believe that that damage is real. This guy was everywhere.
It very well feels like it is. 4,300 and 15 offensive kills. You want to talk about a guy who is opening up some of those offensive plays? Well, look no farther than Mickey. My goodness, he is there to match Beaston without a doubt. And I mean, you needed Mickey's performance that map. If Mickey doesn't play as well as he did, And you feel like Battlecats probably got that one all locked up with the way that Beeson was playing. So a required performance will allow them to pull ahead in the series. They dropped the map 1, maybe a bit of a warm-up, but since that point in time, Andy, it has been all Longhorn Gaming. Now just need one more to put it away, and they could get it here on the Hydro Hardpoint coming up.
And this one's going to be interesting because everything that we've kind of ridden into, if you will, through the 3 maps being played, Mercado, Fortress, Hotel, you get a lot of influence when it comes down to your SMGs. On a map like Zarqwa Hydroelectric, you're kind of diminished, I think is the right word to use, because there's a lot of open land, typically going to be seeing 3 ARs. That is a rare golden egg in the Dragon's Nest to see an SMG find themselves 40 kills. Shout out Kremp from Boston Academy that was able to do it at least that one time. Very rare for an SMG to go into takeover mode when it comes down to Hydro. And if Beeson can continue on with those antics, it might be enough the same way that it was in that Mercado map number 1 to propel this Arizona roster to a map 5. But the ARs just playing in tandem with one another, like I was talking about in that Fortress S&D, when they recognized that their tempo was waiting for the Battlecats to overextend into have that unforced error. That's Zarqwa Hydroelectric in a nutshell, baby. You get those close spawns, you get ARs posted up, they're going to come flying at you. And so long as you have the crossfire set up and you're holding your irons, those should be some pretty easy gunfights if you ask me.
Absolutely. And if there's one thing that we can take away from the map 1, Longhorn Gaming lost probably about 100 points to scrap time, if not more, but they were good on rotations. And I mean, that is something that is necessary when you talk about Hydro and crossing the map, flip-flopping, going back and forth. You need someone to almost be a route man in that sense. And if not, calling for someone to make those routes for you. We'll have to see. 100-point differential in the map 1. That, of course, was the map that Battlecats won here of the 3. They would need this one to extend to a map 5 to try to get themselves even again throughout the standings. Critical matchup between these two. Longhorn Gaming, they've been heating up, they've been clutching up, and they've been finding the impactful kills, Andy. We'll see if that continues here on Hydro.
I'll say this much, fighting for scrap time on a map like Hydro will continue to have you spawning very far away from the next hill. Gonna have to be careful as far as a game plan is concerned here for Arizona. You ain't swimming, you ain't winning. Shout out Chris Duarte, aka Parasite. Carlos gonna pop up, but he already has some assistance on the back end. And if you are Arizona starting off on this side of the map, I would say that you had a very successful opening break. You dealt with the player through the water route. You're fighting players up top with your Heartless. He's trying to stay alive. Even might be able to get the reload, but can't win the gunfight up top. And you already had Green Goose that spawned all the way out in the backside of P2. You are making Longhorn work hard for P1.
Wow, Spawn still comes through there for Heartless as soon as he dies. And he's also going to cut off one of the support members right through mid and then deal with the 1v1 in the back. But off screen, he loses it. Velocity will hold his life. He's yet to die. It's pretty clear what role he's playing at the moment. He is only playing for spawns, but the spawns are still here again for the Battlecats. As now, finally, I think they'll start to flip out, but Velocity doing everything he possibly can to get them across the map.
It's just hard way to gauge the way that spawns do work, especially when P1 is still active. You have more players, the majority of players over on this side of the map for Arizona. That's why you're still going to see them spawned over here. So finally some kills come through. Velocity's still alive, by the way, on their first life. Is on 4 in a row. They'll be in for the initial time. So a lot of time to be fighting over here. But with the Arizona Battlecats, I mean, got to be careful. Maybe one last good look at it. I mean, Deli spawns in. Door gets shut in his face. This might be your last hurrah to maybe try to fight for some scrap time. And Deli will win it. So 24 seconds will be accrued, but that's mostly just because Longhorn, off of the past 20 seconds, just pushed all the way through mid-map, knowing that they wanted the rotation towards new.
I feel like everybody right now is just keeping a mental tracker of scrap time here for the Battlecats. Let's look at the back 20. We'll see how much of it they get here in this game. As Crit is set up, exit's looking solid. Trades should be good, even if Crit were to fall. You got one more player pushed out here through the front of P1. And he's going to come behind the play late. Mickey, good for 1 and a second. That is just clinical here out of them. Longhorn Gaming, good on the initial rotation. We'll lock in 15 seconds for free, but Heartless trying to make a big play in the back.
Oh, I was about to say, he needs to be careful with the timing of the play. Also needs to be careful with how much splish splash he's doing in the back line here. Though nobody looks at him, you got one player that's trying to guard and block all the spawns. That's saucy. Heartless takes the chow, but I'd be feeling myself too if my teammates from the front are just piecing the way that they are here for Arizona Battlecats. Again, down to scrap time. 25 seconds remaining. Longhorn still spawning in the back.
I'd be surprised if they were to get this scrap time, as everyone should be able to funnel through. It should be able to get it, and I think they will be good for it. Beastin, though. No. Beeston is here for 2. Mickey's just going to fly forward. Beeston almost gets it 3rd. But those kills are still key. It's going to delay a lot of this rotation from Longhorn. But Mickey, how has he gotten here for free? He's already at the back of P2. Takes a chow. And Heartless will almost always win that one as he'll shut down Mickey.
P4 is big. You have so many different angles you have to be worried about, from top ruins over towards the backside of top dome. Mention these players over in the rock face as well. Cruise Missile also gets invested here. You thought that it might be some space, but Trim Systems keeping people safe.
In the back, able to find one. No one's playing the back rock here for the Battlecats, so the spawns are able to come through. Slight misplay. Could cost them, especially with 30 seconds still active here on the P4 point. Shots coming through for Deli up front. He's able to do a good job of at least getting a couple, but still not enough. Spawns close. Longhorn Gaming still good for the time for the most part here, but it is scrappy, and Battlecats are actually able to fight forward and will be able to get a part of that scrap time as they start to spawn in.
Oh, Green Goose just has so much to do back there. It's so tough to gauge whether or not you want to fly for the spawns, knowing that your teammates are still spawning in effectively for P4, or if you just try to play your life top Jenny. Fortunately, picks none of those options and ends up tying inside of the upcoming hardpoint. So, close spawns here for Longhorn yet again. 71 up against 60. You could not ask for a closer score line. For taking down his teammate makes the numbers a little bit lackluster, you would feel, for this potential break attempt, or hold attempt, I should say. Longhorn still coming up with kills.
Saucy, spinning, looking. Doesn't find the right line of sight there. Figured out where he's getting shot from. Red Dot's not going to be able to help out here with that. Heartless, good for 1. We'll now allow Beeston to find a couple of key individual 1v1s as well, and the kills are starting to look a lot better now for Arizona as they've been able to break through. And they hold. Saucy looking for an angle in with the entry. Velocity will trade, but Deli answers back. And with that said, that should be scrap time over to the Battlecats.
It's going to sound like a broken record at the end of these hard points when it comes to Arizona, man. They just, they are so good at soaking up some scrap time. That'll be the lead swap as well, going in towards the second set of hard points, albeit by a slim margin. Map effectively just feels like it completely resets itself to where we started off this map number 4. Gotta have it if you're Arizona, remember, to force that map number 5. They are down in this series, but Longhorn fully understanding the task at hand. Find some kills inside of red, get the heck out of that building. Try to maintain the east side of the map while soaking up some time here at 1.
I need a lot more involvement here from Green Goose as well. Deli, he's just been dedicated to the zone on the point. He's got a minute 17 to his name. He's doing his job. But you need to see some more slang come out of the rest of the roster. There's a good moment. Putting together 2. Crit will also drop for free. Doesn't really get an angle. So maybe a little room to work with here for the Battlecats. Pending they find some more kills, they could look to press forward. Maybe threaten these spawns. BC does a good job of finding one, just patiently waiting. And now Mickey's under threat as well. Now you have a little bit of space to work with.
Problem is that you're not in a position to maybe try to full flood these spawns. So you gotta just kind of slow roll this if you are Arizona. Literally looking like where we were at the last go of things. The difference is that Arizona weren't being gifted spawns up front inside of the hard point. So Longhorn fully understand that. They are turned up in the backside of P2, just trying to read where this hit is coming from. Even Heartless inside the water. He knows the second player is weak as well, but that's a great first find.
Stun's gonna hit him, so he just drops below. Gonna wait for the regen to come through. Probably gonna peek again, but I mean, it's great looking for angles, and you're getting a kill here and there, but you're not able to get anyone off the time. So this is time going over to Longhorn. They're gonna grab the lead because of it. 20 seconds over to them. Deli will finally now open things up. The spawns are still here for now. Crit lands a Semtex, says, hold that, thank you very much. Now throws himself into the point, trying to soak up time, and off of the spawns, Longhorn Gaming are able to break right back through.
That is scrap time that the Battlecats will be denied. I'm sure they're very frustrated about it, but nonetheless, Longhorn will be able to build this lead by about 30 points or so. Mid-map pressure is here. The spread for Arizona ahead of P3. I mean, you don't really have anybody that's blocking the spawns, but you won't really be too worried about that so long as you know that Longhorn are still showing presence on P2. But now, if you are these Arizona players, you're going to be able to find a couple of players. And again, that's what I was worried about. Nobody's in the back. Nobody was blocking. We have such a steep focus over towards the front that the spawn in the back occurs, and that is a fumble and a half, if you ask me.
Oh, it certainly is. There's a chance for recovery. The spawn's kind of flip right back immediately after here for the Battlecats, but kills have not come through just yet, as it is chaos. The spawns come through again from behind, and then one more behind him. I don't know what's happening right now, but it's 20-point game, so there's a lot on the line with 30 seconds on this point, and now the kill comes through. Heartless finds a ridiculous double. There could be a chance to try to fight for the back 20.
It just felt like everybody was just spawning behind everybody. It's just, it's like, oh, for Winfrey's in this map. And you get a flank, and you get a flank, and you get a flank. Oh, man. It's P3 Zarqwa, man. I mean, like, you could be in possession of the hill, but, like, that quadrant right there, like, you even see, like, a north to south spawn occurs. Nobody's in the hill. And even though Longhorn had presence over on the east side of the map, the game had no idea where to spawn Velocity. He's forced to have a north-south spawn, so... All right, recollecting myself here. Longhorn have the rotation over towards P4. They have numbers to hold this as well. Easton might be trying to make a play, but he's isolated. He gets taken down.
That is a tough gunfight there for Mickey. Lands all the hip fire there. Goose is just not been able to get involved. 12 and 21. Need to see Goose step up here, or Longhorn Gaming are going to end the series, and this is just a huge moment for them. Spawns are still locked in. They're blocking correctly. They are all set up nice and tight. And it's going to be difficult to break in here without expecting trades to follow through.
I mean, if you're Deli, you're forced to try to make this play, but he's got a Vaznev. And he's not going to be able to take that gunfight towards the top side of the rock. Not easily. And it's all for naught. I mean, Longhorn were setting themselves up for the break for scrap time because, of course, they are. It's Arizona Battlecats, for crying out loud. But they can't find the kills. Now they got to rotate 4P5, and Velocity finds Deli lacking in the middle of the map. That sets up Saucy. He's on dead silence in the back. You still get spawned in if you're Deli, but you're losing your teammates in the front.
I like this. He's going to take his time. Didn't have a good angle. Didn't know he's still up top. A little bit late to react. Crit will bail him out for it. And, well, Saucy just wants to run right in. Doesn't even wait for the regen. Might not expect a double push up top, but Crit doesn't get a good look as he drops in. Well, three players are just all on top of each other here. Battlecats are like, we need hill time, we need hill time. They stack the hill, and they're good for at least the first 30.
A generator room isn't typically where I would schedule a rave, but it seems that Arizona are quite up to the task. Mickey is still here, by the way, 29 and 16. Big 1v1, and he's going to get the better of Green Goose. You have to break this. You have to hit through P5 if you're Arizona Battlecats. I mean, you're already down, but you're certainly not out when it comes down to Hydro, and the kills will come through. 10 seconds, that will be soaked up. But it's a dagger that they are starting to stare at here. It's 171 to 223. You cannot allow Longhorn to get set up on P1.
And that's the story of the game, what you just saw there from Heartless. Battling out from power positions that are in controlled first from Longhorn Gaming. Beeson gonna do some good work here and will find three. He's pulling out the AR and starting to find a lot more value with it. But Arizona, they need every single second. At the very least, they have to keep Longhorn off of the time. So a lot to do. A lot in front of them, and kills are not looking clean here on this push. Two players already gonna drop, but Beastin and Heartless still holding strong, still trying to fight.
Oh man, finding all the kills. Saucy though! Rich head glitch, he finds two. Does not expect Deli to chow through the door. We'll find the trade. 4 ARs on the map now for Arizona, by the way. And it's just straight trades that are coming through continuously. You need this time. 189 to 229. And Green Goose is heating up in a massive way. You also have min-map presence. They're trying to flood through the front. In through the front of P2 they will go. And you get a spawn out for Heartless. He's in the backside of P2. And it's chaos again on the backside of Red.
I don't know what's happening, but this 1v1 in the back is everything. This is quite literally everything, and Velocity wins it. Spawns now should be secured here for Longhorn Gaming. They are 15 seconds away from the dub, and someone from the Battlecats is gonna have to go huge, but nobody's getting any looks. First gunfight finally comes through for Heartless. Has a chance to look at the point, but Mickey will shut him down. The spawns. Take a look at the spawns. Deli might have a chance to break in. Does win his 1v1. But you have to play perfect. Every single second is needed, and Saucy is there. That might be what seals it here in the series. Longhorn Gaming slip up in map 1 hardpoint, but they get the job done and close out the series in the second one.
Hey, you don't need to win map 1 when you can win the next 3, am I right? It's a game plan, Austin. It's Longhorn's game plan at that. I mean, that is just... That is the most Zarqwa Hydroelectric I've ever casted in my life. That was just the zaniest things I've ever seen across a multitude of maps that I've casted so far on Hydro itself. I mean, you gotta block spawns at some point or another. Like, you just gotta block spawns. Like, I'm losing more and more hair the more I cast Hydro when teams don't block spawns. It works out for Longhorn in that moment of time. I mean, when you go back towards P3, Battlecats, like, they'd fumble, I will say that much. They were able to get those close proximity spawns again to recontest for, what, about, like, 15 seconds, but I think it was, like you brought up the perfect game plan when it came down to Longhorn, and they executed it so wonderfully. When you take a look at all these highlights, you'll see the Longhorn will, majority of the time, they'll be set up for the initial time. They were getting that continuously in map 1 Mercado, but they were getting broken up by the monotony that are those hard points. On a map like Zarkal Hydroelectric, when you have like 3 ARs that are watching through these very open plains of lanes, it becomes a little bit less tedious to hold down these hills. And that's Longhorn's game plan. Get the rotation, get set up, get players in these power positions, and just win gunfights.
And it makes it so hard. Like when you're just not, it's a top dome first, or you're not, it's a top ruins first. Like you're just fighting for the low ground, taking tough battles, and it's just not easy to continuously win those. And that, certainly was the biggest factor. We could see it, right? Arizona at one point in time, they start to bring out more ARs because Beeson realizes, like, I don't have any impact right now with a sub. I can't get involved. I can't get to the point. And I need to try to win some of these longer range battles, but even that wasn't enough. And, always sucks to kind of hone in on one player. I still think that Deli did everything he possibly could with a sub in his hand this game with 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Like, he was living in the hard point. But Green Goose, just could not get involved, right? Just could not get involved. That's going to hurt when your second AR is just not firing on all cylinders like it should be.
23 and 28 for Heartless, was trying his heart out. Even Beeson, who was running an AR the majority of this entire Hydroelectric, was really forceful when it came down to the first set of rotations. Just kind of slowed up. The cohesion that were these setups continuously, these stray gunfights that were coming through. Mickey just always challenging for all the scrap time in the world. It felt like 37 and 20, 4,100 damage. What the heck was this guy on the past 3 maps? Because he was absolutely having. Not to mention the couple down along with his SMG duo of Saucy as well. 31 and 24 was making an abundance of plays. Whether they had an AR in hand or an SMG, it always felt like that you could feel their presence on any hard point that was open. Everybody going positive for Longhorn, which is something that you absolutely love to see, considering that they are technically not ranked. Again, I am not on the committee when it comes down to the top 25 teams. All I can tell you is you got to put some respect on these guys' names because, look,
Facts.
Committee, hear me out. If you are ranking Arizona number 23, where's Longhorn placed now? I beg of you, answer.
Well, I'm sure answers will come. No answers at the moment. But good news here for Longhorn Gaming as they put together another win, shut down the Battlecats, and more or less, take over that S&D that was also going the way of the Battlecats, snowballing some of that momentum from the map number 1. So it started to put it together, man. It was looking really solid. It's looking really good. But we saw, 5 rounds in a row. And I think from that point, that's when Longhorn really started to turn it on and really started to take over the series here, Andy.
Yeah, no, they absolutely did. It just felt like they needed that one turning point. And it felt like that one turning point was actually going to be Deli's ace. Right? He got an ace in round 4 of Search and Destroy. But that was the last round, and it felt like maybe the last winning moment for the Battlecats as everybody just turned up. Again, I felt like it was their game plan, right? They recognized that their tempo may not have been as fast. They didn't want to take all these isolated 1v1s continuously through respawns. Didn't work out in the Mercado, so just double up, triple up, take these challenges together, at least play the trade game, and it worked out ever so beautifully, just snowballing all the way through the rest of the series, just as a follow-up update as well. Got another upset, at least on the cards, at least from a standpoint of which St. Edwards lose to New Mexico State, that Aggies roster that we saw to start off the day versus TAMU. It was a triple hotel. They won 15 points by 15 points in the hard point, 6-3 in the Search and Destroy, and then 3-1 on hotel control. That is quite literally an upset. But I'm telling you, that New Mexico State team, they're good, dude. Like, you got to be on the lookout for that team, especially if they're doing that against both Thresh and Eons. Those guys are nasty. Facts.
Yeah, man, without a doubt. We'll be looking forward to seeing how those guys end up going through the rest of their matches, because that is definitely an exciting one. A 3-0, all happens on hotel, apparently. They checked into one map and then checked out and said goodbye, good night, tucked you into bed. That'll be it. Incredible stuff for those guys. Love to see it. Once again, got to give a really big shout out and a huge thank you to our sponsors here, guys. Would not be possible again without them putting on everything that you see, all the people behind the scenes. It is a huge help to America's Navy and fandom for helping us be able to bring this broadcast to you guys. And if you're looking for a little bit more information, America's Navy is the most highly skilled, technology advanced military force in the world. Navy is the esteemed smart force and pushes the boundaries of what is possible. It is prestigious, strategic, innovative, and nurturing. Go check out America's Navy if you guys want to find out a little bit more about them. It's been a hell of a night, man. It has been a really fun time. We had a lot of great matches. Started off maybe very similar to previous weeks, but we started to see some map 4s, almost got some map 5s. But all in all, Andy, it was a great night. Any closing thoughts from you?
I'm going to cherish this moment for the rest of my life, Austin. We don't get to cast together all too often, but let me tell you, I download the VOD, I put it on a DVD, and I put it in a safety lockbox because I absolutely love casting with you, brother. It was a fantastic night of games. And we broke your 0-3 curse. We got 2 back-to-back map 4s.
Yes.
So, hey, I'm just happy to be here. It seems that shift might be the curse, so we'll have to do this again.
That's right. It's all Alan's fault. That's what we learned from this stream. But either way, it's been a great night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow CCL down below if you're not already, and go follow them on socials to stay up to date for when we are going live next. That's going to do it for this broadcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week for some more CCL action.